The fueling fire is barely ablaze. That one's called Amber.
Wow, okay.
And my heart murmurs stories of tortured times, dying, diseased. It whispers quietly as it travels down my sleeve. Faint pulse audible only if you lean close. Soft-spoken susurrus like a rumor born from the air we breathe. Murmur. On my 18th birthday, I would find out how it was to die. Stamped letter delivered promptly. I always thought that I would drown, royalty of my water kingdom with lungs collapsing. Maybe fire would paint my cinder silhouette across a verdant field of floral undead. All I got was a letter with your name written on it. Death sentence. I guess you always knew, after all, the only way to travel through time slightly is 1 second at a time. Those are the 4 short ones. This I wrote earlier today is called Punk is Dead. Punk is dead. It died a week ago. It was hanging out with his cousin, Pop Punk, but they just couldn't agree. You see, Pop Punk wanted to order a pizza and invite a bunch of friends. Always rebellious Punk didn't want anybody over. Punk knew the government was listening. It knew that the only way to beat the system was to join the system. But the pizza guy would surely be a part of the establishment. It turns out Punk was right. It fought the law and the law won. And now it's dead. It's laying here in front of us, waiting to be interred into the Hall of Fame with a funereal gloom and a eulogy waiting to be discordantly sang in a fast-paced rhythm. Gang shouts embracing the harmonies and instruments ready to make a hero of us all. See, metal sits in the corner of the first pew by the front, here in this musical congregation with a pretty large posse of subgenres sitting nearby. Doom and black metal are melancholy for sure, but death metal wishes it could care. Metalcore wants to write a song about it, but fears it would no longer be relevant. Hardcore knows now that it's going to have to pick up the slack since Punk is dead. Rock doesn't know whether it should cry or laugh. It's this dead middle of the room. Chances are it will have another of its identity crises and try to find itself in the sea of sound and beats. Radio killed a rock star, but so did heroin. Rap is in the back of the room, handing out mixtapes to hip-hop and R&B, who both scoff at the interruption. Jazz, the funeral director, is about to speak, and has been meticulous as usual, paying more attention to the method and technique of the funeral and not whether anyone is having a good time or even wants to be here. It can't be worse than pop. See, pop is rich, vapid, and plastic. They funded this funeral, thankfully, but at a cost to its guests. They expect results, headlines, and charting singles. With everyone seated and the service almost at its end, EDM arrives fashionably late. Not even being a genre, it really wants to fit in, so it brings its British cousin EBM, who's fittingly embarrassed. But that's when the fire starts. R&B must have left Rap's mixtape on the back pew, and it surely caught on fire. Indie never made it to the funeral. It sat across the street from the burning church, sipping on its coffee. With his MacBook Air out, it wrote a dazzling review, giving the entire experience 4.5 stars. This last one is called So Much Hate for a Poetic Guy. So is physics like algebra? I overhear him ask for the 4th girl this hour. His guitar is outside, but is well abandoned for the moment. He's feeling really social, a predator, if you will. Her name is Katie, but he has already forgotten, despite how he might need it later when he asks for her number, even if he's just met her. I guess he'll ask again. Who said chivalry was dead? His investigation continues, her body screaming to be left alone, but she paints a smile on her face as to not be rude. If only some people knew how to read silence. He finally asks the question, would you like to go out sometime? She tenses, glances at the ground, and apprehensively responds, I have a boyfriend. In anger, he retaliates. Scoffing, he glares at her and boisterously proclaims, what the fuck? Can a guy have a conversation with you without you thinking he's trying to fuck you? I wish I could have brought him a pack of water. For the road, you know? A trip to the desert of self-aggrandizement can be miserable without proper hydration. How do you quench the desire to blindly ingest someone else's discomfort and anxiety? Humans are deuterostomes. At one point in our embryonic development, our anus came into existence before the rest of our being. Some people never grow past the stage of being a perpetual asshole. I often find myself mixing drinks and spitting sour spirits through an endless regurgitation of words caught in my throat and stuck in my cheek. Coding truth and just passive-aggressive is undoubtedly more harmful to my psyche than it is to the ears in taking my detriment. See, I was taught to hate. Days turning into night recycled. There are stanza worth of self-deprecation, aberrations attired in the ragged garments of my self-loathing. To test the things about myself that I wish I wasn't born with, but do I see myself in you? How I abhor those who manipulate the people in my life that I couldn't do without. Mostly I hate the fact that I don't hate. I was taught to hate. Thanks, guys.